I'm Charlie Ridgway. I was head of publicity here and worked in the publicity department of Disneyland and actually attended the opening of Disneyland in 1955, as well, of course, as the opening of Walt Disney World here 40 years ago today, and the opening of Disneyland Paris, which I had a lot of fun doing.
You're a veteran theme park opener. Could you tell us about opening day here at the Walt Disney World?
One quick correction. I don't call it a theme park. Walt was asked one time why he wanted to build an amusement park, and he said, it's not an amusement park, it's a Disneyland. And I feel the same way about the term theme park. I think it's an industry term that doesn't apply to us. It's Disney, it's a Disney park. And I finally have gotten the company to agree with me in many ways on that, although it still slips out as theme park every once in a while.
Start calling it Disney Park. Can you tell us about opening day here?
It was a tremendously exciting time, and we didn't know quite what to expect. We had planned it for October, which was the lightest tourism time of the year. For Friday was always the lightest day of the week, and so we chose the 1st of October as our opening. It was a soft opening, really, because our grand opening was 3 weeks later. And all to avoid the kind of disaster that took place at Disneyland when they tried to open in the middle of the summer and with a huge celebrity crowd and a live television show and all that went with it. So we wanted to avoid that. So we were planning on perhaps 10,000 people or so for opening day, which was about all we could handle. If we'd had 50,000 people, it would have been a mess. So we got a little bit worried because the media in the area, the newspapers, started trying to outdo each other in predicting how many people we would have for opening. One of them said 50,000, another said 100,000, and the Cocoa Beach paper said 200,000 because they were used to those big gatherings at the Cape. And if we'd had 200,000, the whole state would have fallen apart, I think. But at any rate, that morning, we were concerned because we thought maybe they were right and we were wrong. And Card Walker and Dick Dennis went up in a helicopter to survey the situation at like 5 o'clock in the morning. They saw this line of cars coming down I-4. They said, oh my God, it's starting already. Wait a minute, they're turning at the wrong place. They're all going toward the back entrance. These are employees coming to work. We had 5,000 employees to begin with. It sounded like a huge amount at that point. I guess there are 60,000 or so now, so it seems small by comparison. But we only had one hotel open. The Contemporary Hotel didn't open at all until 3 weeks later, and then only partially. So we had the Polynesian Village mostly open for the opening, and there was no other hotels done on property. And we didn't add very many hotels for a long time.
By the time I got here, you had the Polynesian, the Fort Wilderness.
We had the Four Pillars Campground, which didn't open until December, and the Polynesian opened on opening day, but only some of the rooms were not done. I remember the governor had to shave with cold water because the hot water wasn't going in his room that morning. We came over. I had agreed to bring a group of newsmen in for their first look at the park at 6 o'clock so they could see the painters putting the last touches on it. We met at the Polynesian at 6, and a little after that did a walkthrough all around the park, and sure enough they were putting paint on, washing the streets down and so forth. Took them back out to the main gate in time for the first official visitor to arrive, and we escorted them down Main Street. The Governor Askew was here, and a very modest crowd of about 10,000 actually turned up. So the newspapers then said it was a disappointing open because we didn't have the 100,000 that they were predicting.
So Disneyland had some specific challenges its first day. Did you have any here the first day?
No, not really. As far as I know, we didn't really have any breakdowns. We had, as we say, we had a modest crowd, so we're not overtaxed. Tomorrowland was not open at all at that point, so we were restricted to the rest of the park. And there were other attractions that weren't done in time for opening, but not enough to spoil the opening at all. And it was a very good day. People had fun. A lot of them didn't know what to expect unless they had been to Disneyland. So it was a very exciting time. we were branching out into a whole new field in the resort, hotel, golf course, recreation area. So that was a whole new field for us. One of my friends was a sports reporter for Cocoa Beach paper, and he was assigned to the golf resort to cover that opening. He arrived out there at 6:30 in the morning, and there were an eager bunch of employees waiting for the first golfer to arrive. They waited and waited and waited until about 10 o'clock. Some guy in an old beat-up Volkswagen with the clubs hanging out the front of his car drives up and says, "Is there any chance of playing golf this morning?" They had not scheduled any tee times or anything like that, so I don't know why they would expect anybody to be there.
How does it feel being here 40 years later now?
Well, it's a great fun to remember all the good things that happened over the years. We had so many exciting openings. The opening of Epcot was extraordinary in so many ways. It had its good and bad moments because of rain and so forth and so on, but overall a wonderful experience. The Disney MGM Studios was also a lot of fun because we opened with all kinds of movie stars, celebrities, and so forth on hand. We had rain throughout much of the afternoon. It looked like our big parade of stars was going to get washed out. The rain stopped probably at 6 o'clock. We were ready to go by 7, except that the lights wouldn't come on because they were so wet from all the rain. So we had to delay and keep the stars waiting in the limousines for an hour while we took hair dryers and dried out the connections of those lights. So there were a lot of great openings. I spent a year in Paris, which was exciting and a memorable year for me, and helping get that one open. And it was also a huge gala opening, and so all of them have been very, very exciting.